Yeah, this one today, people, is about the self, social, and the secular, and it's about basically ghost attachment on three levels. Um, so the first one being like self is basically well, we hear about people and people having ghost attachment with themselves. No, like whether it's family members that have passed on that have attached themselves, complete random spirits possessing you. They say statistics that I've heard and read of by a certain author saying that it's about 1 in 12 people have a ghost attachment to themselves. Um, so that would be roughly about 8 billion people, something along the maths of like 666 million people, something along those lines. Nothing to do with 666, or the mark of the beast, which is carbon anyway, energy, like of the formula of carbon. But the 666 apparently of this of 8 billion people. So that's a lot of people, and the pile up day by day is getting more and more because people don't know how to deal with death. And there's a lot of ignorance in the world about afterlife and the afterlife management and how it's really running and how to deal with death. And a lot of people are crossing over and the dead and don't know what's happening. Some do know. Like the way I look at it, there's a lot of people just like they're on this side in flesh, and there's all sorts of various of angels and demons amongst themselves and all behaviour going on. Just well, the same as with people, just like them now crossed over a little bit to the point of they've lost their body, now they are disembodied, and all the types of personality types you've got, right? And that could be a range of all sort of things in its absolute. And if it all comes down to individual cases of what's happening with who, to whom it is it's happening, what type of ghost personality it is that's attaching itself to you, if they're attaching themselves to you. This is a major problem. I reckon a lot of the illnesses in the world are ghost possession. If you remember the ministry of Jesus Christ, he was basically doing a lot of exorcisms as a master physician healer that he was. So he recognised a lot of it is ghost attachment, let alone just basically 5% being like sickness or the biology of the mind and the body internally in self of the body and the mind in its own sickness, in medicine and everything else. So a lot of it is actually ghost attachment. Whether people will accept these things is another thing in the medical world, or not, because there's a lot of money in giving everybody medication, which is the distraction, and basically you're prescribing the wrong prescription to the wrong person if it's a ghost attachment. Sometimes like medication does in big pharma, for psychiatrics or the psychotropics they give people, which to me you're falling into then another subculture of a system of a sort of like sexual sort of like attachment, basically, of people all on the medications together now basically able to see each other under the influence of the drug, and attach themselves sexually with each other in a synthesis way of attaching themselves with the living amongst themselves in flesh and spirit souls. You see on the medications, you can see what you couldn't see before. It's only when you take their medications, the psychotropics, you start to see people around you more as actual souls that are living amongst us in body more than you would before. When you're straight, so there's only 1/6 of this country is actually on the medication or psychotropics. It's a distraction for most people if you actually got ghost attachment of a disembodied spirit, which is the disembodied spirit of the deceased amongst us, of the self. This is causing people sicknesses. I should know I suffer from schizophrenia, which is a ghost attachment, which in my personal case, for let you know, is that I'm dealing with now. It's happening in my life for the last 27 years, and I'm working on trying to get it released at the moment. It's only one spirit. I caught him out about July time this year. For 27 years, the first time I see him attach himself to the top of my head, and he has been. That's why I've been getting pressure in my crown chakra, and I remember the day it happened to me 27 years ago. And that case is still going on. And the first time I saw him, as I said, was in July this year, when he started to leave my body, 5/6 of his body, but didn't quite leave, and he stuck around still. For the first time, he came in from a window 27 years ago because I had my headboard at the back of, underneath the window. Big feng shui mistake, or Vatsu mistake as they call it in a Chinese or Indian philosophy of how you place your furniture and your arrangements of your housing. You should never put your headboard under the window, and I had the window open, and in the morning time this came through the top of my head. that instantly maybe started to hear voices of people I know around me living in body spirits or people I know, and tricks you into thinking it's them psychically attaching themselves to like psychic vampirism and draining off your energy. But the sneak of it is only because of a disembodied spirit attaching himself to the top of my head makes it amplified for everybody else, that I can hear more than I was before for 23 years when I had no telepathy going on and it was more transcendental. And my life was tight and getting better every day. So it wasn't coming under a sickness, it was coming under a strength in my life that I was doing well for myself. You do get certain spirits. Well, this one is a rapture rider, which is basically what I will call it. It tries to feed off the energy of people riding high in their life, and then wants to feed off their energy, not because you're in depression or being sick on alcohol or drink or any other type of depression. At that time when I was 23, I was on no drink or drugs. I was in sort of like the Vedic prescription of Hare Krishna thinking of diet and being teetotal at that time, and stayed teetotal for another 7 years after, till I was 28. So you've got a sober man's report here of what's really happened in my personal life, of how these things are. But it's only this year I've actually seen for the first time what I thought was a psychic possession of people around me, a soul-called attachment, and it wasn't. It was basically, the root of the cause is a disembodied spirit that's causing this, because the same pain as him coming out was the same pain that was coming in that made it amplified in my life, for me. So this is what I'm talking about, this thing about the soul attachment of the self as ghost attachments, right, disembodied. Second type is social attachment, then, which is of other people that you don't want around you in your life, that aren't no good for you, or you just don't, they rub you up in the wrong way, you're different people, and keeping away from them. You know, this could be in your social level, which is love life, ex-partners, friends, old friends, whatever, colleagues or people around you that you don't get on with and you need to disassociate from them. That's the secular level, that's the social level of life, right? So this is where they get another attachment and learn how to navigate yourself around people, away from people, cut off people, disassociate yourself more from people, you know, that are no good for you energetically, for yourself and your own well-being. And then you've got the secular level. Now the secular level is all the industry, which is first estate as an industry, but see, the ghost attachment is the subterranean dynasties of industries, which I'll name it as being the politicians, their legal system, and the monetary system, the banking system. These three subterranean dynasties of industries have hijacked all industries of service, you see. So then, for example, you know, you get the departmental politician member of health. Well, that it doesn't really need that as an attachment, right? Do you understand? You've got every type of political member attaching themselves to every like facet of industry. That's a ghost attachment of subterranean dynasties of industries in our time. You see, the political system, which is a hijacking and plundering of basically all the first industries that almost people of us working in. You see, they're making our life very hard. You see, on the secular level, where you remove these three subterranean dynasties of industries on the secular level, it would just be the first estate secular system, a flow state administration. Rather, because of these three subterranean dynasties of industries, it makes it an ebb state system. You understand this? See, this is what I'm saying. So yeah, this is just a little briefing about ghost attachments to what I've been saying in this little vlog, and hope you may get something for it. Comments most welcome, you know. But yeah, have a nice day, folks. Enjoy the rest of it. See you later.